and if you're any longer than that, it's terms on application. So I can see you having a party, Mr Cosgrave.
Was there a question in that sentence?
Well, I was just pointing out, I just wanted to make sure you were familiar with the sort of extortion that goes on by BT for their fibre on demand. So what if the Optus HFC agreement was altered? Would you need to take a look at this?
Senator, why are we going into all these hypotheticals when half the answers might be provided?
Because of the stated government policy. What's the detail of it is the review, but it's stated government policy. So what if the Optus HFC agreement was altered? You would need to have a look at that. It's currently signed off by you, the existing agreement. You'd need to look at it.
Well, it's authorised.
Yes.
It's authorised under the Act. Again, it's difficult to say, but the previous agreement was brought to the Commission for approval.
Approval. Okay, thanks. Now, I just want to talk about speeds, advertised speeds. Has the ACCC ever expressed concerns about the way broadband speeds are advertised?
Frequently.
I note that you're undertaking a consultation on a process for monitoring the speed of broadband connections. Can you update the committee on this? I did read the industry seemed to go rogue after the government changed.
Well, we're conducting we have a proposal. We have had various views in relation to that proposal. It would be fair to say that the industry have not expressed universal acclaim for the proposal.
What possibly could be the reason for industry not wanting to allow you to confirm what speeds are being delivered to customers?
Oh, you'd have to talk to industry about that, Senator.
You have extensive experience. Don't be coy, Mr Cosgrove.
You'd have to talk to industry. It's their view.
Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's fair to consumers?
I didn't think we were allowed to ask witnesses for their for their opinions.
Mr Cosgrove is an expert witness on behalf of protecting consumers, but I'll rephrase the question so you don't have to feel put out. Is there a reason that customers should pay for a service they don't receive?
Sorry, Senator, can you repeat that?
Is there a reason they should pay for a service, a speed service, that they actually don't receive?
Well, I don't know that you can ask him that either.
It's a factual question.
Well, no, you could ask him if he's aware of any.
I think the answer is if there was misrepresentations being made around the characteristics of a service that would raise concerns under the Trade Practices Act. Yes, Senator.
Now, what factors influence available speeds?
Well, a range of factors, Senator. And in an end-to-end network sense, that can be issues at the network provider end. In an NBN scenario, it could be issues with the contention ratios that the retail providers dimension their network. It could be, and this is just being generally descriptive, it could be issues with the customer premises equipment. It could be a variety of issues.
Is it? Would you expect a greater challenge ensuring speed that's advertised on copper than speed advertised on fibre?
No, I think there are challenges with because the challenges are end to end, and there can be a multiplicity of factors. I think there are factors in determining accurate speeds on all networks.
Mr Cosgrove, it's a well-established scientific laws of physics fact that transmission along fibre doesn't have the same difficulties as transmission along copper. I'm accepting the contention can apply on both networks, but you can't be seriously telling the committee that the challenge of the speed along the fibre is the same as the challenge of speed along.
Well, I think
does water affect fibre in the way that water affects, like when it rains?
Sorry, Senator, do you want me to answer your first question or your second
Both,
question?
thank you. It would be helpful.
Okay, well, I'll go to your first question, and then you'll have to remind me of your second question. But your first question goes to, and I'm really going to stick with my with my initial answer with one caveat that there are issues in terms of speed with all technologies. I think what you're referring to is, particularly with copper technologies, I think it's well known that there can be degradations in relation to speed, the greater the length of the copper loop or the further from an exchange.
Senator Conroy, given we're due to finish at 1:30...
I only have one more question when he's finished this one.
Okay, if I could just have a couple of seconds, that'd be great.
I can't remember your second
I
question.
was asking, and now I've been distracted, not deliberately by the other senator. I was asking about...
Might have been.
No, I wouldn't put you down to be that dastardly. I was asking about if it rained.
I think it was something
if it
about
rained,
water.
Yes, we're talking about water and rain. So, do the copper networks suffer a greater degradation than fibre networks when it rains, for instance? Do you have a rain?
Mr. Reardon's come to Canberra. I'm going to give him the opportunity.
Excellent. You know the rule, Mr. Cosgrove. I've been very consistent over many years. You've got to get your name on Hansard by speaking, otherwise you don't get paid.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Senator. The weather events are a well-recognised source of faults on the copper network, and there are records that are kept around the more severe ones of mass service disruptions that provide a historical record of where there are significant disruptions caused by weather.
But a weather event and water ongoingly lying in a pit are two different things.
Look, they're probably weather related. It's probably rain.
Yeah. So I just wanted not to get trapped by the word event, as you know, there was a once in 10-year flood and all the text was a mass service disruption. So I'm getting out of the mass service disruption weather event to just the ongoing issues around water in ducts and whether or not the network has been properly repaired and all those sorts of issues. But my real question is, do you have a way of testing a network that allows you to take into account weather variations, again could imply weather events, but just like testing after a week of dry weather can get you a very different result for testing the day after, not even during rain, the day after a rain, just normal rain.
Yes,
how do you factor that in to your protecting a consumer from a falsely advertised service by a telco?
There's a variety of publications that we've issued to give guidance to the industry about how they should make their representations. We split the guidance into two categories, things that are within the control of the RSP and which they should be able to anticipate in advance of selling the product to the consumer. And there's some detailed guidance there for matters such as that are more transient, such as the effect of weather, or for, say, copper line lengths. The guidance we give to industry is that they should make suitable disclaimers at point of sale to tell the consumer that these are types of matters which can impact the service that they will experience.
Can I just follow on?
Yep, please.
Senator? You're just saying in terms of your role in investigating claims that are misrepresenting the actual...
Misrepresenting the characteristics of the service, which is...
Well, I mean, I suppose, one of the... do you have any role in, suggesting that there was any misrepresentation by suggesting to a person or a group of people that they were going to receive a service within a particular time, only to find out that they're not going to receive that service in that time? I mean, is that something that you investigate? Promises of, connection times that aren't delivered?
I think she's conflating the actual advertised service with a build rollout, just in case you were confused by her subtleness.
Thank you for your assistance.
There is regulatory oversight of appointments kept. It's through the retail CSG, customer guarantee standards. We keep records about how well Telstra performs in meeting appointments on its network. So there is some oversight of that.
Thank you.
Okay, no, thanks. Just my last question. Is the ACCC aware of any basis on which a provider could guarantee an access speed over a copper pair?
I think it depends on the network again, Senator.
All right, well, no,
There
a copper
are-
pair's a copper pair.
There is some experience internationally where these broadband monitoring programs are operating, which is recording what the typical performance of different networks has been, and there are some copper networks which, on average, not looking at a particular service, but on average, is delivering performance in line with what was advised at point of sale. I think your question may have been on a particular
I was a little bit
line
more
of the house.
specific. I'm aware that it's possible to monitor on copper, but I was being very specific. The access speed over a copper pair. If you lived here in Canberra, do you live in Canberra? Or
No.
You would. Senator Lundy could keep you busy for hours, chatting about Canberra's copper pair problems and ADSL, VDSL. But could I just encourage you to? Could I encourage you to stand up and not cave into outrageous industry behaviour by suddenly saying that they really don't want consumers to know what speeds they're getting and whether they meet their advertised speeds, and encourage you to keep up with the good work. Thank you very much.
Senator.
I declare the meeting suspended until what time are we coming back? 3:15.